Welcome back to Creep It Weird with Liz and
Natty. So I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. I'm going to go ahead and say this because I officially have a TV back in my living room.
congratulations.
I've not had a TV in my living room for at least 6 months.
Well, it's you and your son, so I'm assuming your son, a teenager, just spends his life in his room or out.
He does. So he's got his TV. He's got his computer set up for the Xbox. So he's good. I kidnapped the Oculus because I wanted to do some Beat Saber tonight. So I've been in the dumps again. So the only TV that I had was in my bedroom. So I would spend like hours and hours, like in the entire day in my room in bed, which is not good when you struggle with mental health. So today I weed eated. I went out in the sun. I did not catch on fire.
Wow.
Which is surprising. I got my living room back. I got a puzzle to do so I can use my brain. I've just been feeling very productive today. Although I did ruin a pair of jewelry because I was shaking so bad trying to do it and I totally fucked up the epoxy. So I'm a little bummed out about that. But I've got my puzzle that I can do while my hands shake, so it's fine.
So you can redo it. It's not the end of the world. It sucks. It's an inconvenience.
Well, this one, it was the drilling of the top of it to put the hardware in. So it's kind of toast. And it takes like a day to make one skull. So it takes me 2 days to make a set because you got to wait for it to harden. It's a pain in the ass. But anyway, we need to get our store going and I can put all my jewelry on the store.
Skulls and bones.
And all my crochet.
I know. I want to crochet so bad. I've tried so many times. I start it great, but then it just falls. So whatever the first knot is, I'm not doing it right.
It's all about how you do it. Magic rings are better than chains, but we'll get into that later.
Sure. I've said on YouTube.
That's a whole other podcast.
I'm like 2 seconds, try to do it, pause. 2 seconds, play it, pause.
Yep.
Like I'm trying to teach myself and I just gave up because I got so frustrated.
Yeah, I had to teach myself and I do everything backwards because I'm left-handed.
Oh gosh.
So I'm pretty sure everything I make is like backwards and inside out. So nothing I make looks like anything else. And then some of the patterns I make myself. So I know that like nobody else makes them because I have them. I even have little, they're so cute. I want to send you one. You're going to have to send me your address again. It's a little ghost and it's a keychain.
Oh, that's adorable.
They're little crochet ghosts and they go on your little key ring.
That's awesome.
They're adorable.
Today it's Alyssa-sode. And
Whoop,
The
whoop.
Testaments, that show was released. Did you watch The Handmaid's Tale?
No.
You didn't read it, watch
For
it?
somebody who sits around and watches TV all the time, if it's anything that's even remotely new, I have not seen it. I have like Hulu and Peacock, which plays like all these old shows. Like I'm watching shows from like the 2000s.
Well, I think Handmaids was written in, I want to say 85-ish. Like it's been around. But the show,
okay.
when they did it with, you know the secretary on Mad Men?
No.
You never watched Mad Men either. Okay. Well,
No.
if you're unfamiliar with the Testaments, it's a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. And The Handmaid's Tale was inspired and dedicated to Mary Webster, a.k.a. the Witch of Hadley, a.k.a. Half-Hanged Mary, who we're going to be covering today.
Oh, I think I might know who this is.
But she was the inspiration for the books and that now the TV shows.
Okay.
I've read the books, but now I'm listening to the audiobooks just because some of the actual actors read the books on the audiobook.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool.
And it switches like person to person.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, I like when they have a good narrator because sometimes you can have a great book, but if the narrator sucks, it's impossible to listen to.
100%. The only one that was AI that I've listened to and actually enjoyed was what's the name of it? It's the Guy Lyon Playfair from Enfield Poltergeist. His book. It's like, This House is Haunted, I want to say. But it was like an AI read.
This sounds familiar.
And it sounded exactly like what an old British guy would sound like. So I believed it. It fit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. This has got to be legit.
Yeah, but there are a lot of like books that I can't finish just because of like if there's a weird inflection in the voice.
Like I'll listen to them. Yeah, like if I'm at work, I'll listen to them if I can. But now, like, especially because I'm going to days, which, hey, everybody, my schedule's getting ready to be fucked up. I'm getting ready to have my world rocked. And we're not supposed to have our phones. We can't wear headphones. I work 12-hour shifts.
That's tough.
And that's talking like no music, no nothing. I used to listen to audiobooks when I'd sit in the back, but now I'm not going to be able to do that. So it's going to make a really long day.
So you're just going to be talking to yourself all day?
Yeah, pretty much, because I can't talk to anybody else or I get reported to HR because everybody's soft.
That's insane. You'd be more productive
Yeah, I get reported for everything.
if you weren't bored.
Yep. At least I work in the ER, so that leaves me a little bit of excitement every now and then. Every now and then you get something exciting that comes in.
But sitting there, if you're not like doing anything or dealing with a customer, then you shouldn't have to.
Well, so that is the one thing about my job is that it's always something. It's very fast paced. There's tons of people that come in. There's tons of things to do. So I mean, it will keep me busier, especially being on days as opposed to nights.
Mhm.
But it still sucks because I'm a social person, but I can't talk to anybody because I'm weird and people don't like me during the day because I'm weird. Now I get along great with the nighttime people because we're all weird.
I know you are so social.
It takes a certain kind of person to work nights in an ER. Just saying, we're all messed up.
All right. So, Mary Webster, born Mary Reeve, she was born in England around 1620 ish. There's a few different dates. That's why I'm saying ish on the year of her birth.
Yeah.
She made her way to Springfield, Massachusetts. Hi, it just broke. I was just thinking, why did I go to Springfield? That's why I paused. I'm like, when's the last time? They have the
Oh.
Basketball Hall of Fame there, and my kids had to go there. And they have the Dr.
Oh,
Seuss
okay.
Museum, which every time I go there for whatever, I say I'm going to go to it, and I always forget.
Well, that's a bummer. That sounds like it'd be pretty cool.
Right? Okay, so in 1670, 46-year-old Mary married 53-year-old William Webster.
That's a little late for that time frame to be getting married.
That's what I thought. I was like, spinster? 46?
Yeah. I'm like 46. Damn. That's middle age.
Yeah. The two moved to the Puritan town of Hadley, Massachusetts. William's father, he was the governor of the colony of Connecticut, and a group of other wealthy men, they actually founded Hadley, Mass. So William's father passed away a few years after founding the town, and he left his children without much money. So William and Mary, the new couple, would sometimes rely on the town to get necessities.
I'm still not sure how I feel about that, but okay.
I guess that was pretty common back then.
Surprised they weren't just poppers.
I don't think the town people enjoyed doing it, so they'd kind of look down or treat you worse because of it, you know?
Yeah.
The couple never had any children, and somehow William just leaves the story, like you don't hear about him. So I don't know if, but he didn't die until later. So I don't know where he went or what he did. So just imagine William's not there.
Traveling salesman. Snake oil salesman.
So then it's just Mary who's the person relying on the town. And she's like, this is 1682. Mary's older now. She's in her mid 50s. She's doing her thing, living in a small house, asking neighbors for help when she needs it. Like, yeah, can I get an egg?
Handouts.
And people would treat her poorly and speak down to her, and she had no problem giving it right back to them.
Well, for somebody who relies on the town, I wouldn't be talking shit. Just saying.
Sylvester Judd, in a 1905 history of Hadley, said, quote, poverty and neglect did not improve Mary's fiery temper, and she spoke harshly when offended.
Is she a ginger?
I wonder. That's a good question. I've only seen black and white photos of her. Well, drawings of her. She was like a no-nonsense woman, which at the time period, this is about a decade before the Salem witch trials, so how do you think women were treated?
Oh.
You know? But she
Yeah.
didn't let it slide. Like, she'd give it right back, which I love. And the people in town started saying that when they would pass her house with animals, they'd act funny. Like, people that were going by with their horses, the horse would stop, or the cattle would stop or cross to the other side of the street. So, obviously, it was Mary Webster who was hexing the animals to stop them from passing her house.
Oh, right. Right.
To remedy this, after the men had decided that Mary hexed the animals, they would just start going into Mary's house. Remember, she's 50-something, and they would just start beating the shit out of her. Or as they put it, disturbing her.
Holy shit. Disturbing her by beating her ass. That is a little bit extreme.
A 50-something, and sometimes these were like young men that would go in and just start beating the crap out of her.
Dude, this is like a Forensic Files episode.
And then there was a day when Mary went to a house where a hen... There was a day when Mary went to a house and a hen went down the chimney. This sounds so weird. And then the hen fell into a pot that was in the fireplace that had boiling water in it, and the water hit Mary and it left a mark. But Mary's neighbor called it the witch's mark.
Oh, of course. The poor bitch gets scalded with water and now she's branded for life. Are you fucking kidding me? Dude, do you have any scars I have on me from burning myself in the oven?
You have witches marks?
I have them everywhere. I am the biggest clutch you've ever seen in your life.
But what a weird story. Like, how does it? I guess the hens were probably just, I don't know, different time period.
Well, how tall is this chimney that a fucking chicken's getting in it?
I don't know. I'm sure they weren't very big. They were just villages, so turned into like a fresh town. It hasn't been around forever.
That is so weird.
But then there was also some weird story, like she went into a house and an infant levitated 3 times. But I don't know. Whispers, rumors, and people beating the shit out of Mary continued. And then in March of 1683, Mary was picked up for suspicion of witchcraft and brought to the Northampton County Court. She was
Oh, boy.
held there waiting for her trial for about a month. And they were like, yeah, we can't handle this. Not like guilty or not guilty. They were like, here, go to Boston. You figure it out. So they sent Mary to Boston.
Oh, good Lord.
And she was held for like another month. And then on May 22nd, her court date, she was indicted. So it was going to go to trial. There was testimony of how Mary was not a God-fearing woman and how she consorted with the devil and she had a familiar. In her case, it was a fisher cat or a wild cat.
This would be you.
I know.
You would have a cat as a familiar.
I 100% would. What would you have?
I'd have probably like a rat. Like back in the day, let's be honest, I would have a pet rat.
Like a
or a bat.
Snake or something gross.
Oh my God, I would love a snake. Dude, badassery. Use venom as my weapon of choice.
But witches use familiars to help suckle their magic, so it all checks out.
Is this where the weird, like, extra nipple comes from?
That is, yeah, that's what familiars.
Wasn't there a thing about extra nipples? Yeah.
The jury heard the case, and Mary was acquitted, so she could finally go home. This was in 1980. No, it was not 1983.
Oh, wow, damn. Maybe she was a witch.
1683. So she was cleared, but the town. Can you tell I'm not on my A game today? I'm writing my notes. 1980. That's what we did with Typhoid Mary too. I'm giving her like 100 off. It's fine.
These bitches live forever.
It's gonna suckle on the teat. But even though she was acquitted, the town didn't think she was innocent. And when she went home, she had some sort of fallout with a Reverend Lieutenant Philip Smith, a prominent man in town, and he was one of her accusers as well. So after they had some sort of argument, he got sick in 1984. So obviously he knew it was because Mary put a spell on him.
It's just karma. That's all that is.
And Cotton Mathers included a chapter in his book about how mysterious his illness and everything was. Cotton Mathers, if you know, he was a big part of the Salem witch trial. He's a dick.
Yeah.
He's a dick. That's all you gotta know. Yeah.
That douche canoe.
And how Smith had all these fits and delirium, which obviously was Mary. He said in his chapter how Philip would say that he saw Mary floating above his bed and how she was stabbing him with pins. Meanwhile, he has like all these fits and delirium going on. So remember, throughout all this, he's also like seeing things that aren't there, feeling things that aren't there. But everyone's like, oh, it's Mary.
Yeah, that's legit. Yeah. He's only seeing everything else imaginary, but this has got to be legit.
And the only way he could get peace was when young men in town would go to Mary's house and disturb the witch.
Okay, if you guys are not subscribing to the video tier, the look on my face, I'm sure my face is making all kinds of expressions because this is so dumb. Like, this is so dumb.
It really is.
Like, I can't believe people were like that.
These Puritan towns were like, no joke, man. It was like such a weird way of thinking, but to them it made sense. In his room, medicine bottles would vanish or be emptied.
I can't even. Okay.
His headboard would always be shaking on his bed, even if people were leaning against it trying to get it to stop.
Was there an earthquake? I mean, what's happening here?
Well, he's having like all these fits too, so who's to say he's not like seizing, causing shaking?
Yeah, that would make more sense.
But Philip, when he was suffering from his fits, people would try to hold him down and they would hear scratching coming from all around the bed.
Well, yeah, it's probably on the floor.
And they would see fires erupt on top of the bed. And as soon as someone would be like, wow, look at that fire, it would disappear.
Oh my God. Okay.
They also said something would be felt on the bed that's as big as a cat, my familiar doing its job, crawling around under the
Yeah.
blanket and constantly scratching sound could be heard by his feet.
Maybe homeboy just had really long toenails.
That's horrible.
You know they didn't cut their toenails back then.
But remember, he was delirious the whole time too. So,
Ugh.
so Philip died early on a Saturday, and by Sunday afternoon, his
Good.
body was still warm, even with the cold weather.
Okay, that actually is kind of odd, isn't it?
I have a theory, but I want to see if you get to the same one as I do. And by Monday, blood was trickling down his face, and people reported hearing strange sounds coming from his room where the corpse was.
Okay. But he's still warm at this point?
It doesn't say anything further than that. But for like over a day,
Okay.
he's warm for like a day and a half at least.
Are we sure he's not just in a coma?
That's what I thought. He wasn't fucking dead.
Okay.
He was still alive.
Yeah. Maybe he had an epileptic fit and it caused him to seize and something in his brain broke and he went into a coma.
Probably.
That doesn't explain the blood trickling out of his face, though.
He could have actually been dying at that point.
True.
Like if something burst or something was happening up there, and
Maybe he was poisoned.
by floating Mary or by someone he knew.
Either. Well, if Mary's nowhere near him, I'm going to say someone he knew.
And when his corpse was examined, he had swelling on his chest, on his chesticle, bruising on his back, and holes were found on his body that were thought to be made from owls. Like AWLS, like the painting thing. But I don't know in writing if they're talking about like talons, if it was made from that, or they're talking about actual owls like the tool.
When did they start doing subdermal injections? When were needle injections a thing?
I don't know when.
I mean, someone could have poked him with a needle and poisoned him. Like, they've had, I'm not saying like needle, well, either not subdermal needles, but even back in the day, they would use acupuncture.
The early 1850s.
So they've had acupuncture for longer than that. So what if it was just somebody like a porcupine quill that they dipped in something?
That's a possibility. Or it could be the familiar cat scratching them and getting them.
True.
But the swelling and stuff, they kind of hinted at somebody was suckling off of him.
Ew. That's such a gross word.
Suckle.
Yeah. I don't like that word. That's almost as bad as moist.
And then after, I'm just going to read this right from the New England Historical Society page. I'll link it below. It said, Thomas Hutchinson in the History of Massachusetts Bay Colony described what they did to Mary. While Philip Smith lay ill, a number of brisk lads tried an experiment upon the old woman. Having dragged her out of the house, they hung her up until she was near dead, let her down, rolled her sometime in the snow, and at last buried her in it. And there they left her. But it happened that she survived, and the melancholy man died.
Holy shit.
So I can't tell if it happened right after he died or as he was dying, because I've seen both.
I mean, it would make sense to be as he was dying, but then again, nothing they did made sense, so I'm not sure.
Then Mary earned the nickname Half-Hanged Mary. She lived another 11 years, and the townspeople, I'm sure, continued to just harass her for the rest of her life.
Why didn't she just move?
I don't think she could afford to.
Yeah, I guess there is that. Why didn't she get a job? Marry someone rich.
I don't know.
Isn't that what they did back in the day?
But I don't even know what happened to her husband, if he actually left or what was going on. He's just like out of the story after a point.
When did he die? Does it say? Because also, what kind of man allows their wife to be treated this way?
A guy that disappears?
That's what I'm wondering. He's got to either be dead or out of town. I don't know what you'd be out of town for back then. I mean, everybody's pretty localized. It's not like you traveled real far.
He's the one that threw the hen down the fireplace and he wanted to get out of Dodge before they found out.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, I get how she was bad at the world. She had a tough life. And good for her for surviving the hanging attempt. I'd survive too, just out of spite.
And then they rolled around in the snow and like left her buried. That's just so stupid. Like, what purpose would that serve?
Disturbing the witch.
I can't.
It's such like a disgusting story, but Margaret Atwood, the one that I was talking about, she's believed to be the descendant of Mary Webster. And she wrote this poem, Half-Hanged Mary, to tell her story from Mary's perspective. And like I said, she famously dedicated her novel, The Handmaid's Tale, to her. I am like a hot mess every time I record with you lately, aren't I?
I at least took my meds today, so I'm a little bit more chipper than I was last time. I apologize for anybody who's listened. I'm pretty sure I was out of it. We also recorded for an hour and a half before that, so
Yeah, and I was stumbling then too. But yeah, basically she wrote Half Hanged Mary and then she went on to give a voice to Mary Webster who didn't have one before because it was so easy to like attack marginalized individuals, especially females back then.
oh yeah.
And she took parts of like things that have happened to females throughout history in different parts, and everything in Handmaid's Tale is based on something that historically has happened somewhere in the world at some point, which is insane. If you watch it,
I'm gonna have to watch this.
oh, it's so good.
I watched a movie last night that had me like hardcore in tears.
Which one?
It was such a good movie. It's a man called Otto.
My son told me that has a cat in it, right? He told me I should watch that, but he's like, "You're gonna cry."
Yes, yes, it's got a it, the cat does not die or anything. Just so you know, the cat is alive the whole time. Tom Hanks, and it was I don't know why, but it hit me so hard. Like multiple times in this movie, it was like cutting me deep. And it is so sad. Some of it's funny. I'm just like, oh my gosh, this poor man. Like it makes me not want to get old.
What is he? I don't even want to know because I'm gonna watch it, so I'm not gonna ask anything else.
Yeah, you should watch it. Everybody should watch it. It was a phenomenal movie. Just get some tissues when you watch it.
All right.
And the end was so sweet and yeah, it was very tear jerky. And I don't cry at movies. I just don't. That's not my gig. I think it's one of those things that I'm like, what if I die alone?
Aw, you have family. You have your son.
That's true, but still. But this movie was pretty dope.
I'm like broken, so you're in charge now. This is your episode. Enjoy.
Oh, I'm in charge now? I still want to know what happened to the husband because there's no reason that they should allow some like a whole town to treat his wife this way. He had to have been gone or dead or something.
Yeah, I can't find anything on him.
Well, if they got married when she was 46, it's safe to assume that he was older and the lifespan was not very long back then. So he very well could have died early.
He was 53 when they married, so
Yeah, that's like already 1 foot in the grave back then.
but it's just so crazy how in history it's so easy to attack these marginalized people. And this was part of the ones that happened leading up to the Salem witch trial. Like it just kept growing and growing and growing. And it's like this mob mentality. Like it's okay to beat her because he's doing it. So let's just join in. And it's sick.
Yeah. And and two, if these people despised her so much, why the hell were they letting them like her survive off of them? Why didn't they just cut her off?
They were probably afraid of her if they really thought she was a witch. And then after she survived, I'm sure they were like, yep, now I know she is a witch.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. They also thought germs were the devil, so
Everything's a devil. Foosball.
yep.
Part of her poem says, Half hanged Mary, who lives for another 11 years, is defiant. Surprise, surprise, I was still alive. Before, I was not a witch, but now I am one. So if she wasn't already pissed off, now she is.
She wasn't doing anything that would make it seem like she's a witch. I mean, she was not actively doing anything. Now, you know, back in the day, it'd be like, oh, they were meeting at night, or oh, they were practicing medicine back then. And so it seemed like witchcraft when all it was herbs and stuff like that to heal people. And they were helping the community and they were still labeled as the devil. But she wasn't doing any of that.
She was just chilling with her cat.
Yeah,
Old cat lady, leave her alone.
exactly. At least she only had one cat, not like 50 cats.
That would be my dream. A big cat sanctuary.
Surrounded by
Oh,
cats.
that would be my glory. Are you kidding me?
You walk into Melissa's house and you're like, where's she at? And all you do is you see a blanket of cats and you're like hiding underneath them. They're swarming you. And you're like, where the hell is she?
I know you don't watch Family Guy, but there's an episode where Quagmire, who's a super cat guy, he just has cats just like all around him. And he's walking and
Yeah.
he's just covered in them. That's my dream.
That's what get you like a live cat coat.
Yes.
The coat of many cats instead of colors.
Yep.
Yeah, the fact that she didn't do anything, that's what gets me. Like, there was nothing. And this is well before the spook of the Salem trials.
Well, like 10 years before.
Yeah. So it's not like you had the mania of that contributing to their hysteria. It was just them being douchebags to this poor little old lady.
She wasn't like 20 or 30, not that it would be better, but the fact that she's over 50 and these young kids are just kicking the shit out of her, beating her up, like, that's not okay.
How old was she when she died?
She lived another 11 to 14 years after she was hung in 1684. So
1684. And she was born when?
she was born in, oh, now you're going to have to do this math.
Because
It's
she would have died in
1620-ish.
she would have died in 95.
It's between 1617 to 1624. Those are the date ranges that her birthday is.
So almost around 70, which is really freaking old for back then.
But I love that her ancestor got to tell her story, because if not, nobody would have even heard about this. It would have been like, oh, it was the cat lady, forget about it, forgotten to history. And this is insane.
Exactly. To me, it's sad that, because how many times did something like this happen and no one knows about it?
Women weren't like anything back then, especially one that didn't have her husband around or that didn't have money. That's the story of half-hanged Mary.
I was going to say, like, don't let people beat up old ladies for no reason. But I said, that sounds like I think it's okay to beat them up if there is a reason, but that's not at all what I meant.
No disturbing the witches, okay?
I've got a way with words. And you would assume that if they were afraid of her because she was a witch, they would not have done things to instigate her.
Exactly. It seems like it was just more of a mob mentality. Like everyone was like, oh, well, he's doing it, so I'm going to do it. And it's so crazy how people hop on board in those situations.
Yeah, I mean, at least they didn't burn her at the stake, so there's that.
Well, that's a plus, but they did try to lynch her. Not too cool.
That is true. Yeah, that's also not okay. I'm surprised they cut her down,
I am too.
in all honesty.
They probably just thought she was dead and threw her in the snow as an extra precaution.
Can you imagine? You think this person's dead, you bury him in the snow, and then they like come back the next day?
That's exactly what she did. That's what's so awesome.
These people are probably like, son of a bitch, this bitch is nuts. Kudos to her for hanging on.
Right? I would have done it just out of spite, and I'm glad she did it. She refused to just disappear how they wanted her to.
Yeah, we like those spicy ladies.
Especially back then. Good for her.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got nothing else for this poor lady.
If you get a chance, definitely check out Handmaid's Tale, because that is fabulous. And if you want to read her poem, you can find it anywhere online. It's just Half Hanged Mary by Margaret Atwood. It's not that long, but that, and then the Testaments just came out. They released 3 episodes, and I can't wait for the next one.
Okay.
That's like the continuation.
So there's a little bit there to get caught up on. But okay, if you're watching the Testament or whatever, would it make more sense logically? Is it one of those shows that you need to watch the entirety of The Handmaid's Tale before you watch it?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to make sure people don't like pick up and start. Then they're like, "What the hell's going on?" That would be me going, "What the hell's
Yes, 'cause
happening?"
that takes place after, and it's a buildup, and it's so worth it. You're gonna have so many feelings.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, it's
Uh,
intense.
I don't like the feelers. I'm watching Elementary for the 4th time. It's a Sherlock Holmes show with Lucy Liu in it. Been watching X-Files again and Elementary again. Dude, they're good. If you like crime shows, these are all good.
I do, but I hate when they're so corny and so just cliche.
Yeah, I like Elementary because it is always something a little interesting and it's like real quirky, and I love the dynamic. Like the Sherlock. So Lucy Liu is Joan Watson, and instead of John Watson, she's Joan. The dynamic between these actors is phenomenal. I think they did such a good job playing off of each other that I just can't get enough of it.
Oh, if it's cast right, then that makes the difference in the world.
Oh,
that's like freaking Mindhunters.
Oh, yeah.
Like, why the hell did they cancel that? That was the best casting I've ever seen, I think, in my life.
It was good.
And then they're like,
Yeah, that
they
was
suck
good.
you in. Jonathan Groff in there too, which, if you're a Hamilton fan, the king,
No idea.
you've never seen. Okay. We have very different interests.
Mhm.
I love that play so much. I obviously, when I went, I couldn't afford the original cast, but
I've never seen it.
I saw other cast members in it. Well, it's on Disney Plus now if you wanted to watch it.
I have Disney Plus.
Hamilton. It'll change your life.
Is it like a play?
So much better than a play. It is a play, but
I don't do plays. Then I probably won't like it.
this is a whole different game though.
I will think about it. Odds are I'm probably not going to watch it, but I will think about it. I'm going to be putting my puzzle together watching Elementary.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I can't even put together a puzzle because my cats are assholes. They lay on it and roll around.
I got my puzzle table out. Well, I got one cat, and so far she leaves it alone, so hopefully she keeps it up.
Well, have fun with your puzzle, and everyone should definitely check out Handmaid's Tale if they haven't yet, because it is insane in a good way. Make sure you check us out on social media. We're on Patreon if you want to hear extra episodes or get videos or get any. We have some cool extra episodes coming out soon.
Yep. And ad-free.
Yep.
Ad-free is on there
Early
too.
release.
So that's a good way to do that. If you're like me and you hate advertisements when you're listening to something because it gets to a good spot and then cut you off.
Yeah, and if you want to help support us,
you don't have to worry about that.
because we want to get this going and pump it out more.
And don't forget, if you have any stories or requests, send them over to creepitweirdpodcast@gmail.com. We really want to get a listener episode going. So please, please, please send over anything you got. Anything weird, monsters, haunted, just weird stuff that happened to you. It could be one of those small world situations where, 10 years later you run in, like, we had the one where there was a woman who was a nurse and she saved the life of a little boy, the baby that was born. And then when she got older, she had a heart attack, and that same boy was a nurse and he saved her life, or was an EMT or something. And it all came back around like years later. Like, stuff like that is so crazy.
Anything weird, send it in. We want to hear it all.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for listening, and remember to creep it weird.
Bye.